Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. Welcome to Consulting Leaders. What got you into this mix of UX design, now storytelling for founders and CEOs? What brought you into this?
Well, thank you, Guillaume. Nice to be on the podcast. And it's an interesting one. I set up. I mean, how far do you want me to go back to when I was a kid, being an entrepreneur, or just when I started?
Sure. Your lemonade stand. Tell me about your first lemonade stand.
Sure. Well, I mean, that was luckily it wasn't lemonade, it was apples. I picked apples from my parents' garden, took them down the local pub and sold them. I tried to sell them for 20p each or 6 for £1, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. So yeah, that was fun. That was a 11-year-old me. Obviously I supplied my own. I sourced my own product, did the logistics, actually was the transport manager as well. Packaging, that was an important thing, putting them in the basket, walking them to the place. But yeah, it turns out lots of different hats without even realizing it, and only age 11, that was kind of fun. But yeah, then it was being an entrepreneur has always been part of my journey, I guess. I've always thought differently to other people. And I realized that nowadays that's kind of a neurodivergent style trait. And I have so much respect for neurodivergent people, because they are the most, they think outside the box and they don't do what everyone else does. And it's really cool to notice some neurodivergent traits in myself, which has led me to shun the 9 to 5 and build my own thing that is, each of my team, they work in a way that works for them. But also, a year ago, this team didn't exist. But now, because of the way that the world has gone and the way that we saw a gap in the market, and I've set up my design practice for many, many years, helping other people as a 9 to 5 employee. But I realized that I could actually do that as the owner of my own little agency, Storytold. And now I have a little team. And it's awesome. I know that's not specifically what you asked, but I'm just very proud of my team and very proud of the fact that this company didn't exist. Which side is it? This side, that side. Didn't exist a year ago, but now here we are. So.
On the contrary, that's really good, Jack. I love it. What hooked my attention is the LinkedIn profile where the call to action is "Don't click if you're boring," and I'm like, that's bold. I like it. So yeah. that does make a lot of sense that there is a great team behind that. So tell me, what problem would you say you solve right now? So all this journey led you to Storytold and what you do now. What's the problem that you're solving?
The main problem is that people, business owners specifically, are awash in a sea of AI. They are overflooded with content. And I say content in a very loose term because it's not real, it's not meaningful, it's not engaging. And as such, the floodgates opened with OpenAI, and now business owners are finding it harder than ever to stand out amongst the crowd. So the main problem that we solve for people is that we help them get their story told, which is why the name of the company just sort of happened. But we help business owners to promote themselves more authentically online without pandering to the algorithm, without posting because they have to post. But we save them 20 hours a week of writing content, and we condense that into a 1-hour chat every single week. Business owners just have to chat to us for an hour, and we get all of our ideas from that, all of our content, all of our stories that we write for them, and we accelerate their growth on LinkedIn, get them more followers, get them more visibility, get them more engaged connections. We promote their LinkedIn in a way that they've never thought of before. We basically make it look like them and feel like them, and that, because people buy from people and there's a lack of trust these days with AI, it's vital that we communicate your personality on your LinkedIn. that your LinkedIn isn't just some kind of, like a Facebook profile where you post something every now and then and forget about it. Like, it's meant to be a reflection of your business, and your business is meant to be a reflection of you. So with that in mind, that's how we help founders get more visible and create more engaged connections.
What's the way you're using LinkedIn that people don't think of?
Mostly it's the psychological aspect of, I've got a LinkedIn page. I know that I need to do something with it, but I don't know how. I don't know how to make it work for me. It's just sort of there. It says the very surface level stuff, what I do. It says how I do it sometimes. But most people don't use their LinkedIn to communicate why they do what they do and what they believe in. And that's really where the magic is. That's where the gold is. And most people also just post for the sake of it because they know that they need to. But the way that we work is we pull out these authentic stories about your personality, and we build those in a way that speaks directly to your target audience, that communicates to them in a way that makes them stop and notice you, stop scrolling, and to put you at the front of their mind. And we do it with consistency as well. So we're constantly on LinkedIn on the leader's behalf, and we are posting for them in a way that gets them more business, more engaged customers, more clients. People reach out to them as a result of the work that we do. And I would love to tell you a really impactful story, but I feel like there might be a question coming up later that will lead me into that more naturally. So I'll wait until that comes.
Go for it. This is what I like about the podcast. It is a flowing conversation, so we go as we feel it. So what's that powerful story, Jack?
Okay, sure. Well, I love the metrics. I love looking at the analytics, and sometimes one of our clients, Justin, he's wonderful. He will send us a WhatsApp message with a screenshot of his analytics, and it will say, "We've got our LinkedIn profile has got like 5,000 more viewers in the last week." And we're like, "Awesome." We don't even have to prove what we do to Justin. He's the one saying, "Guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you for doing this." And he's sending us screenshots of his own analytics because of the work we do. That's fine. And we've also got proof in the pudding of what we do. The fact that I was a 9-to-5 employee a year ago with 740 followers, and now I've just crossed over 46,000, something like that, in 18 months, basically. It's incredible. And the amount of people that I can now help because of that wider audience, and the amount of people that come to me and see my stuff and everything, it's truly humbling. It's like there's a town near where I live. The population of that town is smaller than my LinkedIn following, and that's like, whoa, that's insane when you think about it that way. I don't know what I've done to deserve it, but I'm glad that these people get value from me. But the biggest thing, apart from all the numbers, the biggest thing that matters to me is that we help people to connect on a more personal level with not only their audience, but also themselves. So there's a client, I won't name her specifically because it's quite a sensitive issue, but there is a client that we work with in America, and it's a fairly big place, America, so I'm sure you won't know who I'm talking about. But she is, she's a high performance leader, and she talks a lot about leadership and having everything together. And she's brilliant at what she does. She's really, really good. The only downside of what we don't see online, what we don't see about her, is that she's going through some really difficult times. And her husband, a while ago, probably when he was about 37, he's now just gone 40, I think, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And that is not the kind of thing you want your doctor to tell you when you're only 37. So with that in mind, she was posting regularly on LinkedIn, talking about being professional. She's never sharing anything personal about her life. We came along, and I helped her to realize that she needed to open up a little bit more, because to become more relatable, to get more engaged connections, you have to be an open book. And you can still be a professional, you can still be a leader, but you have to sort of share the more heartfelt parts of you. And she said straight away, well, what about if I tell everyone about me and my husband and the fact that he's got Parkinson's? And we were like, I love that initiative. Are you sure? That's a very personal thing, and once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And she said, yes, let's go for it. So she jumped right into the deep end, and within from one post to the other, her first post was about accountability and clarity and high performance leadership and all this stuff. And then her second post, obviously she's been posting long before we came along, but in this timeline of us joining her, her second post was about her husband's journey with Parkinson's and how it had affected their entire family. And the first post had, I don't know, 20 likes, 3 comments and nothing else. No leads, no clients, no connections. The second post had 795 likes, 250 comments, and about 7 or maybe 8 reposts, many shares. And all the numbers aside, a rabbi got in touch with her and said, "You made your post that you wrote made me cry. I'm going through something similar in my community, and I'd love to invite you to help a bunch of people also going through the same thing." And then other people all around the world have been in touch with her. Her community has grown. Her real life community has grown because of something that I wrote. I now have a team of writers as well. We've got Gabby and Annika, who might even be listening, who knows. But it's the fact that I was so proud of this thing that we did for this woman. It was just a piece of writing, and it connected on an emotional human level. It showed that she's an expert, but also that behind closed doors other people have stuff going on too, and that she can help them with those issues. And as a result, her personal life has somewhat improved during a really difficult time because of something we did. That's the value of what we can do, and that makes me happier more than anything else, because it's not about the money, it's not about the metrics, it's about the human. So
it is a powerful story. Hey, Gabby and Annika, if they are indeed listening, thanks for sharing this, Jack. That's powerful. So tell us a bit more about the type of people you help connect with their LinkedIn audience and themselves. Is it purely founders? Do you have a specific industry? Do you have a specific, company size? Like who is your ICP that you're trying to focus and help?
of course, yeah. So the main people we work with are people who have set up their business in the last few years. We find that you've been going for a few years and you realize actually something's not hitting the mark. I'm either in the day-to-day every day and I'm just sort of grinding all the time on my business, and it's just, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, and so therefore I need a bit of help. Nothing's really making progress. It could be that you've been going for 20 years and you're a seasoned business pro, but all of a sudden AI has come along and upset the apple cart. I couldn't help making an Apple reference. And you go back to this idea of, I don't know what I'm doing again. So you need that extra help to step in. And that's where we come along. But primarily, we found that our audience has shifted since we started back in, almost a year ago now. We worked with founders, but the amount of founders who sort of got the value from us, it's an interesting one. We got to a point where founders are so they're almost too close to their own businesses, and they can't take that step back where they're happy to let a team come in and edit their stuff and promote their stuff on their behalf. Ultimately, we do make sure that we understand the business completely before we start posting for them. But now we're going more towards the business owner who's got a team that isn't just a solo person. There's a mindset shift, I think. When you start having a team around you, you then realize it's okay to delegate. And as soon as you get out of that freelancer mindset and into that business owner mindset, that's when we come in, because we're there going, yep, we're your partner in growing your business. We're your partner in growth for LinkedIn. So anyone who wants to grow their business online, specifically on LinkedIn, we're not so good at Instagram or TikTok yet. We'll get there, but we're not there yet. We've sort of got a proven system for Storytold that works on LinkedIn. And that's, anyone who wants to grow on LinkedIn, that's where we come in. But there's no industry, really. Storytelling is agnostic to an industry. So I'd love to say we do a specific niche, but it can help anyone.
Well, fair enough. I like but this is precise enough already, in my opinion. Like so many people are just after business owners, but I think knowing where in their journey the business owner is at, to know exactly when you can help them and get the best results for them, namely when they change from that freelancer mindset to starting to have their own team and building and scaling. This is where we come in after they have been in a business in a few years. That does make sense to me. So I guess it's going to be pretty straightforward for this one, but how do you market, Jack? How do you get people's attention that you can help them out with the problem that they are facing?
We primarily do a lot of organic, authentic stories on LinkedIn.
That's a shocker.
Yeah, I know, right? Who'd have thought? And actually, about sort of 6 months ago, above the Storytold logo, which I don't know what side it is, above the Storytold logo, it said, "Delight your clients with authentic visual storytelling." That's fine. It's fluffy, but it doesn't really get to the point. Get your story told gets to the point. Yeah, the way that we generally work is by doing these authentic stories for businesses. But the way that we get businesses is by practicing what we preach. I put out a bunch of authentic stuff on LinkedIn that provides value, that is 95% about the audience. It doesn't matter about me. I'm the person, I'm the messenger, I'm the person who's translating the message, and as long as the person reading it gets value from it, that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway, and what we really want people to achieve. So we put out this stuff, we share value, we help others, and in doing so, people see the value in what we do, and then they go, actually, I want Jack to help me too. And of course, it's not just me then. I get on the call with people, I meet them, and I assess whether or not we're going to be a good fit. And if we're not a good fit, that's okay. We're not everyone's cup of tea, and we understand that. And also, we're quite picky. I've turned several people away, which is very hard to do if you come from a freelancer mindset. But when you realise that you're not the right fit with a certain group of people, like maybe they're too arrogant, or whether they're like they don't see the value in what you do, and also just personality fit as well. Sometimes you have to turn people away, but knowing what you can achieve and like how you can help people is really important, and that's been a massive shift for me coming from a freelancer mindset. But yeah, we partner with people by being authentic and just being who we are. And it's the lady whose name I will mention. I hope I didn't say her name earlier, but yeah, I'd like to think I kept it fairly confidential. She gave us a wonderful testimonial, which said that our level of we found this funny because we're not particularly known for being professional, but the outcomes that we give are professional. But we're not known for being professionals in our meetings, if that makes sense. So she said, working with Storytold has proven a new level of professionalism for a partnership. They're exactly what a partnership should be. And that was just so heartwarming. So, yeah. But we also take the mick a little bit, and we're just fun. We try and make it a lightweight, engaging process that people enjoy working with us. I think that's the takeaway.
Right. How do you get them there though? How do you move from they've heard your story, they are reading about you on LinkedIn, they visit your profile, right? Because this is what you do. And I like, by the way, the demonstrate how good your service is by just doing it yourself and getting your clients like this. I think any agency should do it exactly like that. How do you move that initial first impression to a sales conversation and to a scope of work, letter of engagement, let's rock and roll? What does the sales motion look like for you?
Yeah, it's very much it's a flexible thing that we're trying to improve all the time. So we've been having lots of conversations about this recently. Everyone's been feeling this sort of October. Not August, autumn slump. And as we go into winter, of course, everyone's just wrapping up for Christmas. So things are changing, and we're trying to constantly improve them. But ultimately, it's a case of people book these calls. There's I guess a sales funnel, I suppose, on my LinkedIn. So everything is geared towards booking a call with me. And then on the call, I have a bunch of stuff that I share, which I don't put public because it is part of our proven system. So there's a bunch of business secrets, I guess, that I then share on the screen on a one-to-one call. And I don't think it's screenshotable. I make sure that it's safe and everything. But that's when people see the value and they're like, oh yeah, okay. And then I get them booked in for another call. Generally on the second call, we then start to sign the contract and we move forward. But yeah, it's very much it's not something we can really promote online. We do give out lots of value, but we can't give away all our secrets online until you get on a call with us. So yeah, that's something I'd recommend. Is I'm more than happy to talk you through stuff, and if it's not the right fit, then anyone listening, if you do want to work with us, great. But also you might not, and that's okay. You can just take what I give you on the call and then learn from that. And go from there. But yeah, our sales process is very like one-to-one. Eventually, I'm sure we'll get to a point where I need to step out of the process a little bit more and have a proper salesperson do it. But for now, at least, that doesn't feel very authentic. And I want to be all about authenticity. So.
No, I like that. So there is multiple ways to play it, right? In my experience, there are some people who are like, I want to give it all away for free anyways, and I sell the implementation if people want to work with us. And then there is, look, here is as much value as I can morally give you. But then since I sell this service to my clients, I also feel, morally obliged to only share this potentially in a one-on-one setup, and if we work together.
Yeah.
I think both approaches are viable. It just depends on your strategy. What's
True. Yeah.
what happens once someone starts working with you, Jack? I guess in your case, it's easy because it's easy. It's more straightforward because it is a service that you're gonna constantly need, right? If you're an influencer, if you're a professional, if you're a business owner, you're gonna be like, those posts aren't going to write themselves. So I need someone to constantly feed me this content and tell my story. But what I like to understand with B2B coaching and consulting and professional services is how do you go from an initial engagement, right? Probably a few month contract to show the value of your service to like, okay, we transform it into a multi-year, layered engagement, potentially going on TikTok and Instagram further down the road. Like, how do you take that initial engagement you have with new clients and transform it into a long-time partnership?
That's a brilliant question. The main way we do it is with a 3-month trial, 3-month process. And after that, it rolls on month after month. So people would sign up with us for the first 3 months, and that's fixed in the contract. And then they start seeing results after month 1, which is the beauty of this project. We treat it like a sort of get to know you period, like a 3 months of this is what we're going to do for you over this period. But also while we're doing stuff, we're still going to be getting to know you. We're going to work out the kinks. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to make sure that we get it right. And then from there, everything flows after that month 3. So month 1 is brand discovery process. We understand absolutely everything about the person's brand, about their business, and about their personality. We help them to understand themselves better. We go through, Alex Hormozy has the value equation. We go through our own version of that as well. There's a book called Steal Like an Artist, and we definitely take that on a little bit. We steal like artists, and we help other people with the best of all the top players in any kind of business. We take our own approach to it and work on that. But throughout the brand discovery process, we also give you a bunch of sort of like a brand Bible that you can use as a template to go forward with. We do a design research process where we get to know and understand everything about your branding and your design. Brand discovery is more about the personal brand, and then the design research is more about the visuals, the UI. LinkedIn optimization process, that's another big part of the getting to know you thing. So we optimize, first of all, we take an audit of your existing LinkedIn and look at all the psychological improvements we can make. Even something as small as 1 or 2% improvements, once they stack, they have a compounding effect. And I'm a big believer in the effect of compounding. And then brand positioning, we build that out as well so that you fully understand how to position your brand in a way that's resonant with your customers, not just what you've been doing so far, which hasn't been working. And I say you, by the way, you're I do mean the people listening. So yeah, we set them up with like Trello, WhatsApp, Google Drive, and then month 2, it's more about building out their design style, perhaps getting a landing page if that's something they also want. Content strategy, we set a few brand pillars in place. We've got this system that we use that's evolving all the time, but as we get new intel from different sources, but ultimately the core of it is there. And we work on a 1 post a day during the week, and then we rest at weekends for our clients. But we set everything up so that we've always got a batch of posts ready to go, but they're not scheduled. If anyone's listening and they schedule their posts, definitely stop scheduling your posts because LinkedIn doesn't like it. it'll deprioritize you. So a tool that I'd strongly recommend that we use internally is Trello. Get all of your posts written onto Trello. Get them ready, use columns to great effect, use swim lanes if you need to, but you can move the post along the board from the initial idea to developing the post, to writing the post, to thinking about the content purpose, why you're doing it, building that in, making sure it hits a load of key points, and then adding an image that's actually relevant and based on you, not just something AI, and then putting it out into the world. People think it's just content. People think it's just like posting stuff, but it can be if you don't want it to work properly, But if you actually want it to work, there's a lot of effort that has to go into every single post. And I won't sugarcoat it. Our team do work really hard to make sure that all works for you. If you think that, it's just ghostwriting or just, oh, it's easy, I can do it myself, that's fine. You crack on, please. And we'll be here to advise in the background. But ultimately, if you've got a proven system that works, if you've got a methodology that you can stick to, that's what we set you all up with in the first 3 months. And then from after that point, all it takes is one meeting a week and everything else just flows. So there is a point as well after the 3 months, probably the 4-month mark, where we come and take another look. So we constantly re-audit your brand, look at what's working, look at what isn't, look at the analytics, A/B test. We also put things out that and check them against other things, work out what's working, what isn't, and then go forward with the best. So it's an ever evolving process, but we really, really love it. And this partnership is so engaging. We've got several clients doing this every month. We have several clients on fixed projects that just for a couple of months, but everyone leaves with massive value. And if they don't feel like they've got value from what we do, we work with them until they do. So I'm probably not a great businessman, but I love helping people to the point where they walk away feeling happy rather than just going, yep, I'm just going to take your money. Because it's not about the money. It's about what value you can give to people.
I think you're selling yourself a bit short here, Jack. I think this is a great business model. I think we live in you mentioned it earlier, I had a guest, I'm quoting her each and every day in this podcast, but a guest who said, we live in a trust recession time. And I think it couldn't be more true. Like anybody can claim anything on the internet nowadays. Anybody is an expert in anything nowadays because you ask ChatGPT to write some stuff and you can post it on LinkedIn. So I think leading with value. We also have we work with you for free until you do, this is performance and or satisfaction guarantee, because the whole point is, my objective is our clients give us a kick-ass testimonial at the end of the engagement and they continue working with us, obviously. So I very much like your approach. That does make sense. You just gave the playbook, and if people want to do it and implement it, we do the same. Just go ahead. And honestly, if you do it right, you will get results. The thing is, you won't have I was just on your website, 75 people you've done that for, which means the 75 times where you potentially made mistakes, learn from it, improve, iterated. So you can do it yourself. It's just going to take more time. But if you have more time than money, then by all means, this is what you should do.
Yeah, for sure.
You've made quite some progress over the last 18 months. That's to say the least. You have a pretty well nailed avatar, product, sales process, marketing. Where would you say you're stuck, Jack?
Where would I say I'm stuck?
What's challenging you right now?
What's challenging me right now? Yeah, like I say, the sort of the run up to Christmas, everyone is super busy, including myself. Like we're always, if I look, I dread to think every time I look at my calendar how much more busy it is. But yeah, next week, time management is keeping me stuck right now. I've got a project manager on board who's looking to help. Time management and emails, dealing with my inbox. That's honestly a big issue. I've got a brilliant VA, but because my time is quite full, and when I say quite full, I mean that I should be booking in 70% of my time, knowing that 30% will get filled up and I'll be full. Instead, I book in 100% of my time, and then I work 14 hours a day, and then at the weekends, and it's like, I just need to have some downtime. So yeah, I took my Wednesday last week. I took my first day off in a month, and that's including weekends, by the way.
Nice.
So yeah, every weekend I did a public speaking course about a month ago. I went traveling to this sales conference in London 2 weeks ago. Was in London for a different reason the week before that, and this weekend I was at a friend's house. So the friend's house was kind of a bit of downtime, but not really, because you're still actively participating in stuff. But yeah, my biggest problem is time.
What's the next big thing that you're looking for? 3 to 6 months. What's the thing that you're looking forward to implement?
My goal, when I get to March 2026, Storytold would have officially launched for a year. So 15th of March, keep that date. That's when Storytold's annual anniversary comes. Exactly. But we've been going a bit longer than that, since January last year. But or this year. But the big goal I'm looking towards is that we've already ticked off the crossing the 6 members of team mark. So I've now got a little team of 6, which is incredible. How 6 humans, or how 5 humans plus me, rely on me for their income is terrifying. But it's also a really humbling sort of space to be in, because they're the most wonderful humans, and I want to do everything I can to actually help them. There was a guy a while ago who said he left his like multi-million-pound CEO position, and he started his own company, and then he grew his company to like 50, maybe 100 people, and he paid them all $75,000. And he got to the point where he was earning $75,000. He could have been on $2 million a year, right? But he chose, no, $75,000 is enough. If we say British pounds, that's about £50,000. I want to get to a point where I can pay everyone on my team £50,000. That's it. That's my biggest business goal. It's not related to clients or outcomes, but of course those things feed into this. So the more clients we can get who can help support that goal, please come on board and help me give my team lots of money. That'd be awesome. But because ultimately, as long as we're helping our clients grow as well, it's a solid investment in both their own businesses, but also my team fully deserve it. That's my goal, is to make sure that they're well provided for. Clients obviously have to come first when it comes to what we do for them and how we help their businesses. We've seen massive growth in what we do for their businesses, but I mostly care about my team. So yeah, that's my goal.
Really mission and value driven, Jack. I like it a lot. If people want to find out more about what you do and or about you, where should they go?
Storytold.co.uk. I should have put there is the .co.uk, one of these sites.
You can see it.
Storytold.co.uk, or go to my LinkedIn page, which I'm hoping will be tagged on this webinar somewhere. There's a bunch of ways you can click on different parts of my LinkedIn profile. If you want to see examples of what Storytold can do, check out the YouTube page, Storytold Creative. That's also a thing. There's also LinkedIn videos, or you know what? I'm giving you far too much to do. Just check me out on LinkedIn. Simple, nice and easy.
One simple call to action. We'll put all the links in the description. You're tagged on the LinkedIn Live here. Jack, thank you so much for coming on Consulting Leaders.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. If I can help anyone, I'll be more than happy to.
We'll make sure that we have the link there. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders Podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.